place where no one is seen as a stranger, where no one is ever faced with danger. A place that is gentle, kind and light, where nothing would ever trigger a fight. A place that is boundless and wide, where we walk with angels side by side. A place that smiles and happy tears, where our hearts are open and there are no more fears. A place where love is seen on every face and arms are open wide to embrace. A place where everyone measures the same, where you are true, and yet no one knows your name. A place where mysteries are explored, where truth is accepted and never ignored. A place where those of old age are wide-eyed and still learning, when time seems to rewind, and to youth we are returning.
Oh, you caught me, you caught me, you caught me. I was eating. Good morning to you guys. Good morning. Let me know if you can hear and see us clearly. I am eating. I'm becoming a master of making bread, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That sourdough bread is so good. That's my breakfast. I cut a couple of slices and I put cheese on one of them and apple butter on the other. And it's so good. Here, y'all want a piece? Give me a piece. I'm gonna eat one more. Can I eat one more? Good. That's my breakfast. Good. I've been mastering making sourdough bread. Sourdough bread, for those of you who don't know, is good for you. It's a good probiotic for your gut health. It doesn't raise your sugar, blood sugar. It's good. What is it?
Sour, that Gatorade.
You ate the apple butter, then you drank Gatorade. And it tastes good, did it? You want water instead?
I'm through. I get something.
Good morning, guys. Let me get a sip. I gotta get a sip. By the way, baby girl likes the sourdough bread too. She helps me eat it. She's right down there, right beside me. I hope you're doing well this morning. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We've been having here in the Carolinas a lot of rain, and today is sunny. It's the first time we've had a good sunny day in a while, isn't it? So now the grass is jumping and it's time to cut it. Anyway, it's been every day's a good day for me. I love rainy weather. I love the cool weather. And it's just how you see it, how you look at it, right? And there's my sissy and my brother-in-law. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? And then there's Bernie Vern. Hey, Bernie. I talked to Mama Chris yesterday, and we had a good long talk. She's singing your praises. Hey, Sandra. How are you and Marcine? I hope you're doing well. And then there's Jill. Hey, Jill. Thank you, guys.
Bring Marcine and y'all come by and see us. I like to see you. I can't get out much, but I like to see you and talk to you.
Okay. And then there's thank you, Jill, for letting me know you can hear and see us clear, huh? And
Jill, you can come too.
Yeah, I'm wondering why you just
Sylvia Moore, you can
just
come.
Those two.
You can come too. Phyllis, you can come. And
Diaklin, you can come.
Diaklin, you can come. And
Kathy can come.
Kathy, you can come too. Come on, all of you. Pile up in an airplane or a bus or
John
a
Greasy,
UFO.
you can come.
John Greasy, you bring your motorcycle over here. You come on.
Pearl can come.
Miss Pearl, you come on, see us. Come on over here.
We'll huddle up in here.
Oh, we'll have
a can of sardines.
Shut your mouth, girl. Don't you say that. Hey, come on over here. We'll have a good time in the house of the Lord.
Okay, I'm gonna stop eating and do this. Okay, you're all welcome. Those of you who know where we are, you are welcome Mm. So this morning, well, this week, I've had a couple of things on my mind. Sissy said they're doing good. Thank you, sweetheart.
I said, come on over here, girl.
Fine on our end.
When that you're doing good, come on over here, all of you. Pearl, Grayson, Torrance, Jacqueline, Sibling,
I got a loaf of bread for you, Sissy. But I'm gonna hold it because baby's not feeling up to par today, so we're not gonna try to travel today. But I'm talking to Sissy.
Oh, excuse me.
Mm-hmm. You don't mind, do you?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that anyway.
Yeah, that's right. So anyhow, I was thinking this week about several things. Jill just says we'll be there. Yeah. Yeah, y'all know you're welcome over here. My goodness.
Come on over here. We used to laugh and look at each other and cry.
And find something to munch on and talk, and you know how it is.
Sit here and stand on your head and pass gas straight up in the air is all right with me.
Yeah. Like I said, we'll pack in here like a can of sardines.
Ain't gonna be no sardine. You trying to stink up everything.
Keely.
Keely, you come too. Keely. Come on over here, girl.
Hey, Keely, that's my sweetie pie.
Come on, Keely, man.
Keely, my sweetie pie. I hope you're doing okay.
Everybody. Bring your daughter, your husband, everybody.
This week, I was thinking about so many different things, and dealing with my own internal state. And so there's two words that I'm focusing on, two things I'm thinking of today. Union is one of them, and surrender is the other. I wanted to discuss that just a little bit. What's the matter, Pastor?
My little book pen.
This one right there in front of you, sweetheart. Right in front of you. So I'm going to do this, and we're going to do this, and then we're going to jump in. I don't know what Pastor has, but I know we'll put it together. We'll blend it. And I want to read that out of this book too, honey, if you don't mind.
Oh.
Well, you got it marked there?
Yeah.
Yeah, just hold that page for me. Let's do this. We all know, and we've all heard, and we've all read. Good morning, Sister Sharon. Good morning, Leslie.
Leslie, you come too. All of y'all come. Sharon, Leslie, Earl, come on.
We all have heard and know and have read that God is love, and we know that. I want to substitute the word love for the word God, just to kind of give us a different way of looking at things. And we've used this, it's not an affirmation, but this understanding and this truth that we've spoken, we've used this quick before, but we've never substituted the word God for the word love. So this time, when we say this, we're going to use the word God, okay? God is the collapse of the sense of separation. God is the desire to remove the gap.
He is the removal of the gap.
God is the desire to be one and not two.
He's the only one that we are.
God can never be demanding, but instead sets one free.
There's no demanding and no burdened.
God has no self-interest and is never concerned with winning.
He's the center of all men's eternal self.
Winning is not in the vocabulary of God.
There's no losing. There's all multiplications.
God has no reason to love. It just is.
He is. We are his love.
God desires nothing from the other.
No demands from anybody.
That's something. Needing to be right is not the language of God.
He's neither right nor wrong. No debate.
God holds no position to argue.
He has no positionalities. We're all the same.
And finally, God cannot be threatened.
No fear, no threats, no intimidation.
Now let's do this. We substituted the word love for the word God. Now let's substitute it for the words I am. Okay? I am the collapse of the sense of separation.
No more separation. No more God and us. God coming, God was there. When He shows up, there's no such thing as that.
I am the desire to remove the gap.
He is the gap filler. There is no gap.
I am the desire to be one and not two.
He removes the zero, and there's nobody else but Him.
I can never be demanding, but instead I set one free.
We are the freedom in every man.
Winning is not in the vocabulary of what I am.
No winning, no losing. Sameness.
I am has no reason to love. It just is.
We are His, the eternal love in every man in the universe.
I have no reason to love. I just love.
We are that. We are.
I am the desire. I am desiring nothing from the other.
There's no want, no grasping, no seeking, no finding, but seeing.
Needing to be right is not the language of what I am.
There's no debatism in us as one, as the same I am.
As the I am, I hold no position to argue.
This is what you call the walk of the Spirit, the conversation of Spirit.
And then lastly, I cannot be threatened.
No fear, no tremor, no temptation, no threats,
No intimidation.
no intimidation,
Mhm.
none of that. Now, this is what you call the talk, walk of the Spirit. I used to think that the talk and the walk of the Spirit was quoting scriptures, uh, repeating what was said in the Bible or any book. That is not the real us. A real us, remember what it said, stillness speaks.
Mhm. Mhm.
You want to hear God speak out of a book? Then read the borderline, read the space in between each word, and you'll hear God. And what you hear will be heard with your spirit sense, your all knowing self. Without any animosity, there's no greed, there's no want, there's no desire. It is just complete stillness. That's what you've always been. Remember, a lady said to me in the doctor's office, when she came out, I was the allergist, and she came out and she started out the door, and I said to her, I said, ma'am, I said, there's preachers in your family. I said, you got preachers in your family? She said, no. And then it clicked. She said, yes, I do. She said, it's all in my husband's family. And I said, well, I saw that. And she said, I feel chills going all through me. The chills was the result of the actual insight, but what was real was her. So she kept on talking to me, and she said this, and this what put the gap in between her and God. She said, I read my Bible every day and ask God to come in me. I said, sweetheart, He's always been in you. She said, yes, I know it, but I have to ask Him to come in me. She didn't catch the turnaround.
Mhm.
She couldn't see it because the infestation of separation and the what if you're gonna call anything a curse or misplaced identity, the idea that you and me and God and you are twos, threes, fours, and ten
Separate.
separatist,
Mhm. So I wanted to deal with,
and that's the burden.
yeah, it is. And I want to deal with the concept of oneness. And when we talk about it, when Jesus talked about it, what does it actually mean? And I'm hoping that in talking about it, that we will move from a mindset of being two into that place of oneness. Now, there are several words that came to mind while I was contemplating this, and I'm going to read a scripture, and then we're going to read out of this book too.
I may have moved that.
I think,
But anyway, when you know yourself in the way that we're talking about, without attributing anything to an opposite, you are talking equal association with God, and you really know yourself when you start talking. You don't have to tell anybody, because God really, and I want you to hear this, God is not going around telling everybody that he's them and they are him. That is something that is known by insight and revelatory potential that is in, and listen to this, we are the eternal self in every human being in the universe.
right. And
we are the same spirit.
And we make these statements, but if you allow me to make just build a
Yeah, go
base
ahead.
for it, just for a moment, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
There are several words that came to mind while I was contemplating this, and then there's a scripture that Jesus said in St. John 10:30. He says, around the 29th verse says, "My Father, which gave them me," he didn't give them to me, he said, gave them me. And then he says, "is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand." Then in the 30th verse, he says, "I and my Father are one." And it's interesting that the very next thing that took place after he said that was the Jews took up stones to stone him. And they did it because he said he was one. I and my Father are one. He didn't say I'm one with the Father. He said, I and my Father are one. We're not two, is what he's saying. We're not two. Type that in, not two. Not two. One means not two. And so then the Jews took up the stones to stone him, and he said this. He said to them, "Many good works have I showed you from my Father. For which of those works do you stone me?" And the Jews said to him, "For a good work we don't stone you, but for blasphemy, because you being a man make yourself God." They couldn't handle that.
No, they couldn't.
The church can't handle that.
That's true.
The world can't handle
that's
that.
Right.
However, it is still true. Now, there are several words that, like I said, came to mind. One is unite. Most of us, when we got saved, if we had gone through the Christian path, we at one point felt united to God. That's coming together, bringing together to form one unit or a whole. So we came together to God. And some of us have not left that stage. That's all we can handle. We came to God. We're together with God, together with me, but I'm still me, and God's still he. That's our concept. That's our misconception. But then there's the thought of another word called junction. It's the point where two things come together. And it might have been that spiritual experience that you had, some encounter that you had, where it was a point, there was a day, there was a time, a specific time when you recognized that the two of you, God and you, came to the same point. And at that point, you felt united and lived in that concept and haven't been able to move from that concept into what's called union. Now, union, here's the actual definition. It generally refers to the joining or uniting of two or more things into one. So we could stop at joining and uniting of two or more things. But when it says into one, which means there's a disappearance of two. And the disappearance of two is what oneness is.
Mhm. And then oneness is the disappearing of even zero.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, when we say disappearance, that is zero.
I mean, when I say that, I'm speaking in terms of there's nobody else but
Right.
God.
Right. When the two disappear
Mhm.
and there's only one left,
That's
that is
God.
zero.
Mhm.
That
Okay.
is absolutely zero. So we know already that that truth will cause people to fight you.
Mm.
That truth of being one, of you and the Father being one, is hard for the mind and the egocentric mind to accept. It's very, very difficult for the human mind to accept that. And I used this example before. Most of us have the concept of oneness as God is in me like a raisin is in a bun. But when oneness takes place, when you take those ingredients to make that cake, you got the flour, you got the sugar, you got the eggs, you got all that stuff, and you put them together. That's the point of uniting. They unite in the same bowl and they blend. When that thing goes into the oven and comes out, it is only one. It's one cake. I don't care how many ingredients you put in it. It's one cake because it is assimilated. It merges, it blends, it melts into, and until there is no longer 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients. It's only one cake. So this is what we mean when we say oneness. We're going beyond God in me, just in me, and I'm still me, and God is still He. Because as long as I'm thinking that way, I'm still misidentifying myself, and I will harm myself. I will harm others, not realizing that there is nothing else here but God.
That's right. And here it is. In God, there is really no such thing as left and right side of the road. Republicans and Democrats have burdened the people, and God is not in the business of putting burdens on people, but He is the removal of the burden.
Yes, He's the lifter of burdens.
And
Yes.
ever since we've been in this new phase of our government, the whole country is under a burden because of signing of new programs that have been shut down and opened up. The burden has been placed on those that have lost their insurance, they've lost their security. And you're going to tell me that even with the Jews, the burden that has been placed on them to put on other people for war and the wars that are going on overseas and across the water, that burden has been placed on the people. Children, boys, girls, and hospitals are having trouble trying to get reimbursement for certain things, and it's a lot of suffering. That burden does not come from God. Our leaders who are burdened from each side of the road, the left side and the right side, the Republican, Democrat, that is not a burden from God. It is the ego. It is the separatist. It is the war that has been going on from, if there was ever a day one, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 10, separation. Now, I may be saying something strong, but I'm saying it, and I've been trying to find a way to say it with all due respect for our government. But the burden that is going on in the House of the fighting for taxes and fighting to raise something on the public is a burden that comes not from God, but it comes from greed, power, and separation from the love that everybody is in a true self. Now, what we're talking about is the walk of the Spirit. The walk of the Spirit is not spooky.
That's right.
It's not spooky.
It's not.
It's not one person head up there. You know what? When we were pastoring
let me
church,
say this: the walk of the Spirit is not an altered state.
no,
It is your natural state.
that's
Your
right.
natural love state.
We are the eternal empath of God. We are the eternal workings of God. Love, joy, peace, long suffering, and gentleness. That's the nature of the eternal self.
Now you got more?
No, go
You
ahead.
got more? So I'm going to read this, and this is out of this little book. We've introduced it to you guys before. It's called Know Yourself. Know Yourself. I can't pronounce the author, but anyway, that's what it is. So let me move this banner out of the way so you guys can see. It says this. What is the way? Someone asked this question. What is the way to union when you assert that there is no one other than him? Yet one thing cannot be united to itself. So here we are with the union or uniting. This person's asking, how can you be united when there's only one thing here? That one thing can't unite to itself. That's the question. This is how it was answered. There is no doubt that in reality, there is neither union nor separation. I hope you can grasp this. I hope you can grasp this. When there's oneness, there is neither union nor separation.
That's right.
Distance or closeness.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Since union is only possible between two things, and if there is only one, there can be neither union nor separation. I hope you're getting it. I hope you're getting it. Union requires two things which are either similar, in which case they are equal, or dissimilar, in which case they are opposites. Now, this is a powerful statement. If there's two of you, God and you, you're either equal to God or you're opposite of God.
Okay.
Meaning you're the opposer of God. So now, in oneness, there is neither an opposite nor an equal. There is just that one. And we've often said this, that one is playing both parts. Both parts. Okay. However, he, God that is exalted far above having any opposite or equal. Therefore, union lies in something other than union, closeness in something other than closeness, and distance in something other than distance. There is union without union, closeness without closeness, and distance without distance. I hope you can get it. I hope you can get it, because it's mystical language, but it's the truth of who you are. Yes, John, not two. So accepting the truth that, and it may still be a belief to you instead of the truth for you, but accepting the truth that you are is the essential, it is the essence of that God is. That you are is none other than that essence. And it's difficult for the human mind to grasp that. Robert, hey, sweetheart, how are you guys doing? He says, integrity, the state of being whole and undivided. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, union or oneness, I should say, it means wholeness, it means harmony, it means sameness, it means unity. What Pastor just mentioned about of the discontent in the political arena, it's unity. And so it's all of the above. Thank you, Robert, for that. Thank you. So I hope you're getting a clearer picture of what oneness really means.
And you know what? I heard the Catholic priest, the female lady in the rostrum, with our president sitting down in the seats facing in the audience. She looked at him and said to him, and I knew it was the mind and the Christ self that was speaking through her. She looked at our president and said, have mercy on
Of
the
the
people.
people. Yeah.
He did not like it. He did not respond. And he increased the burden on the whole nation. All of now, I may get some repercussions behind it, but I'm telling you what's there. When the burden is removed, it is totally different than what the country has been going through in separation. If there is a burden on the country, it is not coming from God. I'm sorry to have to say this to you, but I am not sorry because I'm saying to you what you already know. Now, Israel was under a burden with Pharaoh in the old book. And when I checked the records of the old books that was translated down through years to this point, I found out that a lot of things that are misunderstood about eternal life. You go in the 16th chapter of the book of Luke and anywhere else and understand if it's true or not. Makes no difference anymore to me. What is real is the Christ eternal self.
Mhm.
When every man leaves their body, they're going to live and find out that the eternal self has always been in this suit. This eternal self, whether good or bad suits, mind, left brain or right brain,
Mhm.
monkey or no monkey in the tree,
Mhm.
that character and the nature of the oneness of God has never stopped existing in all men, regardless of the storm, the rain, the snow, the war, or the hail. It cannot affect that stillness place inside of every man. The big lie is God is on the left side and right side. No, the big truth is God is everywhere present
He's
and the
yeah,
same in
both.
every
Yeah.
last one of us.
The cognitive dissonance that
There you go. That's the word.
I sometimes experience is realizing that those that I look at that appear not to be lovable or exuding love, who don't have mercy on
Yeah.
others, my brain has trouble wrapping around the fact that not only am I one, they are one as well. And that same Christ that's here is there as well. It doesn't appear to be true, but it is true.
Yeah.
That's the cognitive dissonance that my brain tries to wrap around.
Here's what we're hearing. What is going on in our government should have been brought up years ago of the fraud and the stealing and those who illegally getting Social Security and things like that. And here's the answer to this. If every man will remove the burden from each other by realizing their true identity as the Christ eternal love,
That's the only one.
any principle, technique, any kind of preaching or teaching about my church, we're preaching this, we're teaching this. What we're saying to you, it means nothing until it is activated inside of you. That has always been there, coming to the forefront of consciousness.
So,
God is the consciousness of consciousness.
so Pastor, it cannot remain a belief, can it?
No belief.
It has
That's
to,
good. I'm
it
glad you
has to
said that.
become a knowing to you.
Belief is removed when knowing is revealed.
Hey, Virginia. That's Jenny Jen. She says there's no spot where God is not.
Thank you.
Exactly, sweetheart.
Hamba
Yeah.
karaboko
So,
say.
so having
Lord,
said
thank
all
you.
of that, hey, Pastor Norman, having said all of that, I have personally had because of the cognitive dissonance of trying to reconcile how someone can be that essence and still exude things that harm other people, and do things that harm other people. And I'm not strictly talking about our political arena. I'm talking about in every area of life. And when husbands are mean to wives, and wives are mean to husbands, and parents are mean to children. I mean, it's everywhere. I this week had to go through what I call, and our pastor has his own term for what it means to surrender, but I had to go through what I call surrender, which was letting go of every concern.
There you go.
I had to let go of every concern. I'm going to list just a few of them. This is how the concern overwhelms you and overtakes you. I had the concern of excess debt, and I got so concerned about that, and my credit score was being affected. All of the concerns about that. Will I be able to meet the bills next month? That concern about will my husband feel good tomorrow? Will he be okay? Will my dog be okay? Will I be okay? Can I find a way to get rid of all of these things? And then the house, I see repairs that need to be done on the house, and that's a concern. And I see the lack of money. Then I have a concern about how to juggle the money. And then I have a concern about the car and how I'm going to keep the cars up. And I have a concern about the yard and how I'm going to keep the yard up. I have concern about the political climate. I have concern about all of that. I have concern about how am I going to be available to all of you guys who followed us for years as pastors? How am I going to be available for all of that? All of these concerns. The list goes on and on and on and on, and I'm sure you have your own list. I had to come to a place to realize that most of it is beyond my control. And that is beyond my control, I cannot take action for to change. Jesus said, can any of you, by taking a thought, change the stature? Can you change how tall you are by thinking about it? No, you cannot. So my focus was on all of these concerns, and I got to a place where I just said, to hell with it all. And when I said that, there was so much freedom.
Yeah. The burden
was
removed.
The burden was gone.
Yeah.
But I had to come to that.
The false burden.
I had to get to that place.
That's right.
I had to get to that place where I just, okay, let it go. That's what surrender is. Let it go.
Here's something I've been thinking. It's coming to me as we talk. When we started out in this, we did not know anything about what we're talking about now. We started off in what is called home groups. Robert Mann, and he was with us then, and this is how we met. I'm interested in being able to hold sessions and come to people's home, or they come here, to where we can come together and share the abundance of what it's like to be in the presence of one identity of the Christ consciousness and discuss it. We're not going to try to change anybody. I gave that up. The burden of trying to soul win and speak to people everywhere you go. No, I'm interested in us being together, sitting still and conversating from our eternal self, the Christ consciousness. Now
let me say this, because we got a couple of comments, Pastor. I need to acknowledge. Pastor Norman said he just finished sharing this exact teaching, and that it was because he realizes that it's because they are suffering from identity crisis.
Yes.
That's why they're not able to show that same love and present that same love. Now, Robert is saying authority over another is not real.
That's right.
But we participate. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sandra says this, their false self causes the separation, but in their real self, there's God.
That's right. Yes. That's right.
Yes. And then she's asking a question, is their God self one with him? I'm not sure of your question. Can you reword it for me?
Is their God self
one with him?
Yes, that same God self is the same God self in every man, but it is not to the forefront of consciousness.
Yes, and it's like Pastor Norma said, it's because they have an identity crisis.
As a sickness in the
identity crisis.
Sickness is separation.
The identity crisis takes place basically because of the programming that they've had from day
conditioned.
one. I want to share a story with you. I saw this the other day, and it was so funny. How there was this lady who had she was keeping her niece. Her niece was about, I guess, maybe 5, 6, something like that. Very young girl. And they were on the porch, and her niece started really acting up, throwing a finger up to her and all of that stuff. She was really acting up. And so her aunt played a game on her. She grabbed her phone, and she pretended to call the police. And she said, I'm calling the police on you. They're going to come and pick you up, and you're going to have to stay in jail for 7 days. She told the little girl this. The little girl laughed. She said, I don't believe that. She just really made fun of her aunt and was still bad, really bad, and bad like baby's kids. So she kept talking to her and said, yeah, they're going to come and get you. And she said, you better listen, because those sirens, you're going to hear those sirens, and they're coming to take you and lock you up. And the little girl, she threw a finger up at her aunt and all this stuff. She didn't believe it. And just so happened when she said that, some sirens went off.
Uh-oh.
And the little girl looked around, and she broke out in a big cry. She broke out in a cry and ran in the house. Now, that was programming.
Yeah.
That was programming, because she didn't believe any of what her aunt said. But at that moment, after that point, she now believes that the police is coming after her.
Oh, yeah.
She now believes, not just believes, she knows it because she heard the sirens. She now thinks that when she's bad, they're going to come after her. That's a conditioning. And it happens so quick, and it happens so innocently. It was just, that's how it happens to us. And so I look at that, and everyone we look at has had the same kinds of programming.
When I was little, they all put in the conditioned self and created it, says that if you don't go to school, Mr. Unthank, who was the Truman officer, is going to come and get you.
So you were scared to walk the street, weren't you?
Yeah. It's going to come and get you and take you to the children's home.
Yeah.
So when my brother got into a big situation, and it was a discrimination between who was in fault, me or my brother, my mom and daddy took us to Mr. Unthank. And every time I tried to tell the truth about who really did what was going on, which I knew I didn't, my dad would say, shut up. And Mr. Unthank put the hammer down. And everybody that heard about Mr. Unthank, I even went to school with his daughter named Dorothy Unthank.
Was he a truant officer?
Yeah.
I never knew him, but I know we heard about
he
Mr.
was.
Unthank, but that was it.
And they said, by law, you have to go to school. If you don't, they'll come and lock your mom and daddy up.
None of them ever got locked up.
Never did. But this is what she's talking about.
I like what Jacqueline said. She said, belief is removed when knowing is revealed. She's quoting you. Now, Robert says, peaceful non-compliance is the tool of liberation taught and modeled by Jesus. Yes.
Yeah.
And when we model Jesus, it's important what Robert just said. When we model Jesus, that's the benefit of modeling Jesus. We circumvent the ego. And if we go around the ego by being kind, by thinking those kinds of thoughts toward people that is loving and those kinds of things, being inclusive instead of exclusive, pushing people away because they don't think like we do, dress like we do, look like we do, believe like we do, all of those things. That in itself is modeling Jesus, the non-judgmental mental attitude toward others.
We had a mentor in our younger days of the ministry who was nothing on one side but rough sandpaper. rough, mean. We had to leave him, and God
to
directed
survive,
us.
to survive
We
emotionally.
was riding around and we saw a church called Central Tabernacle. We decided to go into this place, and when we got there, this pastor was a lady who was the full power expression of eternal love. She healed us.
She did.
She healed us. And when we felt that she did, that it was time for us to go back, I went back to our old mentor. And one of the first things he did when we got back was call me in his office and laid me out for going over to this lady to get help. From that moment on, we left him.
Yeah.
And it showed us the difference between a good pastor of the Christ consciousness and one that was just all out angry.
Yes.
From that moment on,
I have to admit that when we first initially started church, we thought we had to be the police for God.
Yeah, we did.
And he thought that too.
And he was,
He thought that too.
And we tried to preach like him and be like him.
And it was
but
terrible.
it caused more havoc.
We heard a lot of people.
And even when we tried to be like him, we got back to him, he laid us out for trying to be like him.
And I think we hurt a lot of people.
We hurt a lot of people. I am no longer in that vernacular. I will not go to people. Now, listen to this. I'm going to say it again. I heard the priest tell our government positional to have mercy on the people. He did not listen to her.
Right. But now, I like what Robert says. Control is not freedom. We fear freedom because we fear, period. And that you can be one and not know that.
That's right.
True. That's true. In fact, there are millions of people who don't know that.
My mama couldn't raise all of my brothers and sisters. So my daddy and mama stayed in court all the time about taking care of me. My daddy gave me to my uncle and aunt. I was used as a middle ground between both of them, my aunt and uncle, because he used to fight her and beat her real bad. And one day while they was fighting, she took me as a child and put me in between both of them, the middle ground, mediator. That's all I was the whole time I was with them up to I was 22 years of age. And she looked at my uncle and said, "Are you going to hit me in front of this child? Do you know he didn't pay her a bit of attention? He popped her over in the corner just as she was popcorn in the movie theater." And from that moment on, I cried a many nights in between them. No child should be used as a coaching product between a husband and wife or a family member. But that's what I was. Now that I got older, I'm thinking that I was supposed to be that way in the ministry. And I found out, no, I decided I wasn't going to be that anymore. And I left my family and married this girl. And my life has been totally different ever since. And my wife went through some of this herself in her family. I decided, and I found out, I woke up that there between God and the left side and the right side, it is called a middle path. I stay in that middle path. And I look and I see both sides tied down on both sides, right and left, but I hold on to the middle path because I know the middle path is stillness where God speaks without any animosity.
Yes. Hey, Dr. Lauren, I'm so glad you're here, sweetie pie. I thought about you the other day.
That's Dr. Lauren.
That's Dr. Lauren. Robert says this. I love what Robert's saying. He says, we talk about freedom, but we don't know what it means. We believe in freedom, but only in our dreams. The bell called freedom. That bell called freedom. Will we ever hear it ring? We talk about freedom, but we don't know what it means. He's being poetic now. I hear you.
All right.
I hear you. And we don't know what it means. We really don't. So when I surrendered, when I let go of the concerns, I was experiencing the freedom. So here we are. There are things that are beyond our control. What is within your scope of being able to take action, then do that. But if you cannot, and even if you cannot at that moment, let it go.
When you have to stand between the left side and the right side of the road to try to maintain balance,
Mm,
I stood between
mm,
both of my uncle and the shotgun he had in his hand went
mm.
off and it shot down in the floor. And he would say all the time he was going to kill her. And he did not have any mercy at all during that time. Yes, he provided for me and he have a place for me to stay, but there was so much abuse. I decided after I woke up that I would never walk the path of abuse ever again.
Now you just exposed something. You exposed the program for me. You said it in the words that you used.
Mhm.
Trying to standing in between the left and the
And the right
right,
side of the
and
road.
trying to maintain balance.
Yeah, I
And
couldn't.
I remember, just being transparent, in my growing up years, that's what I was in my home, in our house.
Mhm.
I was standing in the gap trying to maintain balance in a dysfunctional atmosphere. And you were too.
Mhm.
And so I think it has carried over. I know it has carried over into my adult life, where I'm constantly, that false me, or that little me that believes is separate, is constantly trying to find balance.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
my uncle got his fingers cut off on a saw with a neighbor who pulled his hand into a big saw blade. He been cut on the arm with an axe. He been cut on the same arm again since he got older. And he was always mean. And he stayed that way up to the very moment. He could never see that even though he did things to help me with my cars and things, he could never see that that was a part of him that was absolutely mean. But you know what? When I found out how to forgive for real, whether I felt anger, resentment against anybody in my feeling self,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
would always go home to my heart. And in the heart of Christ,
Mhm.
there is a, a clause I use. It's called eternal forgiveness.
And what you're talking about is what Jesus meant when he said, I go to the Father.
I
I
go to
go to
that
the Father.
heart.
He also said before that the Father was in, believe that I'm in the Father and the Father is in me. But then he said in the very next verse, I go to the Father.
Yeah.
And that's what it means to go to the Father. It's to leave
Yeah.
that place of trying to find the balance
You can
and
do it
surrendering it and letting go.
because you are made out of a place called the kingdom of heaven.
Oh yeah,
And the kingdom
yeah,
of heaven
yeah.
is the heart of God.
The heart of
I have
God.
to stop because I go to dripping tears and
Well,
crying
go ahead
like
and
this.
cry. It's
But I want
okay.
to tell you something. I know the heart of Jesus. He let me see his heart, and y'all heard me talk about it. I saw
Mm-hmm,
his
mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm.
five colors of love in his heart. He's nothing like what I'm gonna tell you like it is now. He's nothing like what they teach in church. Nothing
Nothing,
like it.
nothing.
You can read about it, you
Well,
can shout about it,
well,
you may take your sides with it, but I can tell you this:
well, you,
if you ever see the heart of Jesus,
yeah, yeah.
it will change your mind about denomination
If
and
the
church.
narrative is true that Jesus did actually come, and I believe that he did, we've seen it before, experienced that. But
Mhm.
if the narrative is true, Jesus didn't come to build a church.
No, he didn't.
He didn't come to build an institution.
Yes.
He came to show us all who we are and what we are by showing us a mirror reflection, not by telling us, but being a mirror reflection of what we are. And that in itself is what his mission was.
Yeah.
That's what his purpose was.
Yeah.
And Dr. Lauren, she says, having awareness of who you are and how you show up is so important. Many people lack that awareness because would require accountability of actions. Exactly. Exactly. And a lot of times we try to escape that responsibility. We don't want to take responsibility for our actions.
And I was in high school. My uh, seventh grade teacher, they Dr. Harrison and Miss Harrison never had any children. They wanted to adopt me,
Yeah, you've told this
and
story a million
and they
times.
wanted to take me away from my uncle and aunt to live
Yeah,
with
yeah,
them
yeah.
because she knew when I came to her class, I had been worn out all weekend, staying up, trying to keep peace between them.
Yep. Yep.
But I realized after a while, and I say this with the forgiveness heart of Christ, I knew somewhere down inside I could not live with them. She literally went to my uncle and asked him to let me live with him. And he said, no, I'll never
So,
do
so,
it.
so, Pastor, are you saying that sometimes for your own welfare, your own well-being, you have to leave certain environments?
You have to.
Mhm.
But I couldn't leave until I was made aware of the Christ in me. And when I
Mhm.
did see
That's
that,
when you had the courage to do
the
it. The
courage,
courage to do it.
Jesus is your love. He is your eternal love that does not waver because of the left side and the right side of the road.
Mhm.
Jesus Christ, the heart of all of us online today. Miss Lauren, Dr. Lauren, I thank you for your presence with us today. And from the time that I met you and your family, you have been nothing but a wonderful blessing to us and some of the others on the phone.
I
I will
remember,
never,
I remember Dr. Lauren when I first met her. She was in school,
yeah,
not a doctor yet,
yeah,
but she had the most focused intent
yes, yes,
to complete her goal and
yes.
accomplish it. And there was nothing that she would not, uh, there was nothing beneath her that she would not do to better her conditions.
And to show people how if she did it, we
They
can do
can
it.
do it too, yeah.
And I thank you, all of you, Sandra and Dr. Lauren and Robert and all the little bitty Roberts out there, and all of you who have been online with us for years. All of the time that we spoke today, I'm asking you focus in on what we're saying and just let it roll over in your heart. There's nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing. I met a girl here sitting beside me who is all heart, and she helped me and have been doing this for 56 years of marriage.
This year will be 56, won't it?
56 years. And we've been together.
Mhm.
And I thank God for, can I say this in a big way, as big as I can say it? I thank God for running into every last one of you
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
this site today.
Yes, yes, yes.
You are me and I am you. Together we are the same eternal heart.
Yeah.
If I don't say anything else to you after this, this is it. This is the ace of our conversation.
Mhm.
We are the ace, you are the ace. There will never be another one like you because there's only one like you already, and that's your Christ identity.
Yes, 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 yes. So we love you,
Thank
and
you.
we're going to give you the opportunity now to go ahead
Thank
and
you.
give. Thank you guys for
Thank you.
supporting us
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
sending your honoring us with your substance, uh, no matter how small or how large. We bless all of you for thinking about us and
Yeah,
taking the time to send us something. And I wanted to also share with you guys, I didn't see Mama Chris on here this morning. She may be on here, but she had gone to the hospital last week and she's back home now. So she's doing much, much better. Uh, Keep her in prayer. And also, if you have the time to just send her a little note or something in the mail to help her out a little bit. And she really appreciates you guys for everything that you've done. I just want to remind you of that.
again,
Again.
we want to thank you for the financial support that you have endeavored to do, and you have been consistent with it. And I thank you for helping us keep things going.
Thank you, John. He says, hit the love button.
That's right. That's we done hit it, John, on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Hit the love button, and we
Hit the
thank you
love
so much
button.
for that love button being available that you could choose to help keep us going at home and us coming online twice a week
Yeah,
to
every
talk to you.
Tuesday at
And
7.
I promise you, we ain't gonna talk nothing else but this. I know
We
there's
don't know anything else but this.
there's some people listening to us that have not come on and let us know that they're listening. There are people who don't agree, but that's okay.
But
we love you
But
anyway.
I wanted to say this, and I don't know. I know the young lady that sent us the card this week, and she's put a little love gift in it with it. But she sent a card, and this lady, she says she's not tech savvy, so she's not able to get on with us when we're live. But what she has been able to do is to come back and look and watch the videos afterwards. And so she was so blessed by us and what we were saying. So we always get encouragement from you guys. It feels good to get encouragement, because then you know that at least you're making a difference. And so thank you guys. Every time you do that, it helps us and it blesses us.
When we were in church a long time ago, we used to have $50 lines, $100 prayer lines, and money giving
You
lines.
remember the 101?
The 101. Yeah. And they've come down out. And when we started out, I was working.
We had all kind of gimmicks to get some money from folks.
I have no gimmicks. We have no gimmicks. We just come straight out and ask you to give and continue to give. Increase it if you can, to help keep us in this house and keeping us online, to share with you the mystical side of the eternal Christ identity.
Sister Pearl, I love you, but you know what? You should ask that question way before now, girl. We get ready to go. She said, where does one script comes into play? What if they are following their script, but we don't quite understand that or agree with it? That's another way of looking at it. I agree. I think that a lot of times they are playing a role, such as like when Judas played the role for Jesus to be able to fulfill his script.
That's right.
So we can't look at anybody and say they're wrong.
Here it is.
Because and judge them or pass a sentence on them, because they actually are playing a role for our benefit of evolution.
Okay. What is the left side and the right side of the road existing for? I'll tell you what it does. Here's the definition and answer to your question and your statement. The left side and the right side is opposite, reveals the middle path. We studied the middle path for years and didn't know what it was. I'm explaining it to all of you. The left side and the right side put emphasis on staying in the middle.
Yes.
And my uncle used to say, I'm holding it down on both sides of the road. I'm holding it down on the left side, the right side. I said, you holding it down, Unc? He said, yeah, I'm holding it down. I got it tied down on both sides. I'm holding it in the middle. And I said, you hold it in the middle, Unc? He said, yeah. And he said, and it's working too.
So hold it in the middle. That's what you're saying.
And keep it working. You work it. John Grayson, stay in the middle of the road with your motorcycle, or we call them motorcycles, and tie it down and hold it there. And I bless you with the Christ blessings.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, Pearl. I hear you. I hear you. And it is true that all the others that we look at and our mind judges and says they're wrong, they are following a script that they have to follow, just as Judas followed a script in order for Jesus to fulfill his script.
But you are the Christ in the middle of the road that understands both sides.
That's it.
And as the both sides are there in the middle path, you can see what's behind. In the middle path, your discernment, Miss Pearl, is the ability to see Christ beyond the right and the left side and never deviate. Only thing you do once in a while, you get drawn to the left and you concentrate
it'll
there.
Get your attention.
And it'll get your attention, and you turn to the right to get your attention. But you always got to remember, the walk of the Spirit is the middle path.
It's the middle path. Yes.
Okay.
We love you guys. We'll be back on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Around 7. And I hope Pastor Norman will be able to get with us.
Take 2 aspirins and come to see me on Tuesday at 7.
Pastor Norman said he remembers the 101.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you had some kind of gadget. They had to come up. They give $101, and they had some kind of gadget. It was like something they had to do. I don't know what you made some kind of
a slide.
Gadget.
It was a slide.
Yeah, he made some kind of a gadget. I don't know. Anyway,
and they slid over all the way. They slid that slide all the way
and
over.
it was so was fun. And a lot of people saw a lot of miracles when
They
had
did.
it,
They
didn't
saw a lot of
they?
miracles take place with that giving.
With that
At
101.
101. And everybody 101 is what kept us financially going
Yeah,
in
it
our
did.
building.
It did. It
I
did.
would like to still go back to visiting some homes if you guys could make it possible. I'd like to share personally with. We had some time with these personal home shell groups, they call them, and we enjoyed it. And thank
Yes,
you
it
so
did.
much for understanding with the heart of Jesus in the middle path. Thank you.
And thank you for using these QR codes
Yep.
to give to us. And then, of course, if you are tech savvy, as some have said, Jill says she's still getting the 101 blessings.
Oh Lord, look at you, Miss Jill.
And of course, you guys can text if you choose to do that to CLC Greensboro to 73256, or you can actually PayPal, send it through PayPal. You can send it through the mail, P.O. Box 36259, Greensboro, North Carolina 27416. And if you want to bless Pastor and myself,
Yeah, Pastor
you
Norman.
don't have capability through online methods, then use the mail. You can send it to that P.O. Box, and Laverne will make sure we get it. Laverne is the best. She is the best. She's been our right arm ever since she was a little spring chicken. Now she's still clucking along with us.
You what you gonna say? She's a full grown hen.
Oh, we were watching TV yesterday. I got to tell you guys this. We were watching TV. We were watching these silly YouTube things, and there was this rooster, and I've never heard a rooster crow like this. It was just one long,
Boy, he was
one long crow, and he crowed so long he passed out.
He hyperventilated. That rooster hyperventilated
like this.
And both legs. He said, "Oh, bam!" He fell off the side. He fainted.
Of course, we kept looking at it. We kept running it back and looking at it. We laughed till we cried. I tell you,
I never seen the rooster crows like that. And he did one long crow, and after a while he passed out. I said, "What in the world's wrong with this rooster?"
So, anywho, we're gone, and we're gonna see you on Tuesday, sweetie pies. Tuesday at 7, live in color. If nothing happens in the morning, we'll be back.
See you on the turnaround.
Bye bye.